All right, so you're thinking about real estate investment, and Gurgaon's on your radar.
Smart move.
It seems like everyone's talking about it, and today we're going to do a deep dive using this guide from Soba.
Oh, yeah, Soba. They're one of the big developers there.
Yeah, they are. And, you're probably thinking, okay, what's the potential here? Can I actually get good returns? What's the lifestyle like?
Yeah, you want the whole picture, right?
Exactly. That future Megana City vibe everyone's talking about.
Well, and you know what's interesting? Gurgaon's property values have been jumping like almost 10% every year for the past decade.
Okay, that sounds impressive, but what does that actually mean for someone like me?
Well, you know, JLL, they're a huge real estate consulting firm, and they actually back that up.
Yeah.
They said that 9% average annual appreciation over the last 10 years.
So it's not just like a fluke?
No, it's consistent, and that means there's serious demand in Gurgaon.
And I'm guessing that's where the whole economic engine thing comes in. The guide mentions Google, American Express, PepsiCo.
Oh, yeah, all the big names.
Yeah. Like every major company is setting up shop there.
And that's key because all those companies, they need employees, and those employees need places to live.
So that drives up demand.
Exactly. And that's why you see those property values climbing.
Okay, so the economics look good, but, it can't just be about numbers.
Right.
I mean, I'm also looking for a certain lifestyle.
Of course. And Soapy really plays up that whole, glamorous side of Gurgaon.
Yeah, all those gated communities and pools and fancy restaurants.
They've really cultivated a very specific lifestyle there, especially for, young professionals.
Yeah, I can see the appeal. But what's interesting to me is how they highlight Gurgaon's location, like right next to Delhi.
Ah, that's huge. You get the best of both worlds,
Mm.
Access to a major city, but maybe with a bit more of a modern, less hectic vibe.
Yeah, you get to have your cake and eat it too.
Exactly. And they talk a lot about connectivity, too.
Oh yeah, the Delhi-Gurgaon Expressway and all the metro lines.
It makes commuting so much easier. You can work in Delhi, but live in this totally different environment.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference. Okay, so we're starting to see why Gurgaon's so hot right now. Booming economy, great lifestyle potential for strong returns. But what about the flip side?
What do you mean?
Are there any downsides? Risks I need to be aware of?
Well, of course, every investment has risks.
Right.
Gurgaon's no different.
So what should I be watching out for? The guide mentions things like regulatory shifts and market volatility, even potential infrastructure delays.
Yeah, those were all things to consider.
I mean, some of those terms sound a little intimidating, to be honest.
Yeah, well, regulatory shifts basically means government policies can change, and sometimes that can affect property values.
Okay, so staying informed about any potential changes.
Exactly. And then market volatility basically just means that prices can go up and down.
Right. But isn't that true everywhere?
Well, yeah, but understanding those cycles is really important for any investor.
Okay, so it's not just jumping in because everyone else is.
No, you need a strategy.
And what about the infrastructure delays? Gurgaon seems to be under constant construction, which is exciting, but also could be a risk.
Yeah, it's a bit of a double-edged sword. Development's good, but delays can impact, timelines and property values.
So I can't just assume everything's going to go according to plan.
Right. You got to do your research.
Yeah.
Be realistic about potential setbacks.
Okay, so knowledge is power. The more I understand, the better. Now, I'm sure people listening have a ton of questions, and I know SOPA's guide has a whole FAQ section.
Oh, yeah, those FAQs are always helpful.
If we take a look and see what they have to say?
Let's do it. Keep in mind, though, this is all coming straight from SOPA.
Yeah.
So it's good to get their perspective, but also think about the bigger picture.
Okay, good point. So first question. Is Gurgaon a good place to invest in real estate? I'm guessing they say yes.
They talk about all the development, the economic growth, the high potential for returns. But let's dig a little deeper into what's really driving those factors.
Okay, so we're getting why SOPA's so into Gurgaon. But let's step back for a sec and think about someone like me, actually thinking about investing here. What's the big picture? What makes Gurgaon stand out from other places?
Yeah, that's the question, right? What makes it special? And I think what we've seen so far, it's not just some fad. It's been growing steadily, and there's some really strong reasons behind it.
You're talking about that 10% growth every year.
Yeah, that's not just random luck. It means people really want to be in Gurgaon.
And that all comes back to the economy.
Exactly. More businesses, more jobs, and it's attracting a certain type of person,
Yeah.
Young, ambitious.
People who want a modern lifestyle.
Exactly. They want that vibrant feel and a good social scene.
So it's not just about the money, it's about a whole way of life.
Yeah, you're investing in a city that's changing and growing really fast. And that energy, that's what makes Gurgaon different.
It's like investing in potential, not just property. But okay, let's be real for a minute. We've talked about the good stuff, but there are always those what ifs, you know?
The downsides.
Yeah, the things that could go wrong.
You have to be realistic. No investment is completely risk-free.
So let's talk about those risks again. Regulatory shifts, market volatility, infrastructure delays. Those can really mess things up.
They can. But you know what? Understanding them and knowing how to deal with them, that's what makes a good investor.
Okay, so how do we navigate those risks? Give me some practical advice.
First, be informed. Things change. Policies change. That's just how it is. But if you stay updated on potential shifts, regulations, new laws, then you're ahead of the game.
So do your homework.
Yeah, don't just take someone's word for it. And then market volatility. Well, markets go up and down. That's natural.
Sure.
But if you look at the history, the current economy, the things that specifically affect Gurgaon, then you can make smarter choices.
Be savvy, not impulsive.
Exactly. And infrastructure delays. Yeah, Gurgaon's always building, which is great, but those delays can really impact things.
Especially if you're counting on a certain project to boost value in your area.
Exactly. So know the timelines, the potential problems, how things are progressing. It's all about being aware.
Okay, don't just assume everything will be perfect. Do your own research. Be realistic. Now, Sopol also talks a lot about choosing the right type of property based on your goals.
Oh, that's super important. It's not one size fits all. Are you looking for apartments? Land? Commercial spaces? Each one has its own pluses and minuses.
And they really emphasize location, location, location.
Of course. It's not just a saying. Different areas in Gurgaon are growing at different rates. They have different things to offer, different levels of demand.
So you got to know what you want and where to find it.
Right. And then there's the whole legal side of things.
Oh, yeah, that can be a bit overwhelming.
It can.
Wow.
But it's super important. Verifying titles, due diligence, understanding all the regulations. That's where having some expert help can be a lifesaver.
Like lawyers, real estate agents, financial advisors?
Exactly. They can guide you, make sure everything's legit, and protect your investment.
So it's not just about finding the right place. It's about doing things the right way.
Absolutely. Be thorough. Be careful. Don't cut corners. Now let's shift gears a bit and think about something we haven't really talked about. We mentioned all these young professionals coming in. But what does that mean for Gurgaon as a whole? How are they changing the city?
Yeah, it's like the city's personality changes as more people move in. Especially somewhere like Gurgaon that's growing so fast. It's not just about buildings, it's like a whole vibe.
You got it. And that's something to think about for any long-term investment. It's not just numbers. You have to understand the human side of it. How are people changing the city? What do they want and need?
So it's like, what's Gurgaon becoming?
Exactly. Will all these young professionals keep coming? What happens then? How does that affect housing prices, rents, property values down the line?
And can Gurgaon keep up? Will they have the infrastructure, the amenities to support all these new people?
Those are the questions that can give you a real advantage as an investor. Thinking about the long game. How is this all going to play out?
It's like we're not just looking at what is, but what will be.
Right? It's a whole other level, but that's what makes it so interesting.
Totally. So we're trying to connect the dots, see the big picture, figure out what's shaping the city.
And where it's all headed. That's how you find the real opportunities.
By looking ahead, thinking about the future.
Exactly. Be proactive, not reactive. Anyone can follow the trends, but the real wins come from understanding what's driving them.
Wow, you've given us a lot to think about. The economy, the lifestyle, the risks, the rewards. This has been a true deep dive.
I hope it's given you a good starting point to explore Gurgaon for yourself.
It definitely has. Remember, everyone knowledge is power, especially in a market like this.
Absolutely. The more you know, the better decisions you can make.
Don't be afraid to ask questions, challenge assumptions, and dig deeper. That's how you find those hidden gems.
Well said.
Okay, so that wraps up our deep dive into Gurgaon real estate. I hope you enjoyed it and that you'll keep exploring this fascinating city.
Remember, real estate's a marathon, not a sprint. Be patient, be strategic, and be ready to adapt.
Great advice. Thanks for joining us. Make sure to check out our other deep dives where we cover all sorts of interesting topics. Until next time, happy investing.